When I last posted, I said that we had an upcoming trip to Disney, and then I was going to deal with it after that. Maybe do some more investigating, maybe just confront her. I'm not going to rehash everything I wrote in the first threads, but these details are important for what I want to write today and how we got here. We've been together since early 2016, had a baby in late 2016. We bought a house together while she was pregnant. I will refer to her as my wife, but we're not actually married, just common law. Our relationship started out great, but it didn't take until our daughter's first birthday for me to realize that something was wrong. I don't know exactly when things started to go off the rails, but I seriously was questioning if she even wanted to be with me. We didn't fight. We got along fine, but there was no physical or emotional intimacy. She was clearly not interested in anything, and I was too scared to talk about it. Told myself that it would improve over time. I was in love with her. It was worth waiting out whatever she was going through. I was honestly scared that a frank discussion about it would lead to her ending things. The relationship did eventually improve. There was a stretch of a couple of years where things seemed pretty good, but by late 2022, things had regressed bad. Unlike before, I didn't have the mental capacity to hold it in and wait things out. Early 2023 was the first time I initiated a conversation about the state of our relationship and how I was feeling. I did start seeing a therapist after this, which has helped me deal with stuff better. Things might have improved a little bit after that, but only a little bit, and only a little bit every once in a while. When it comes to sex specifically, I'm sure we had sex less than 10 times in 2023 and less than 5 in 2024. Midway through 2024 was the first time I ever questioned if she might have been cheating on me. Not that she had ever said or done anything that suggested it, but it was really how she was with her phone. I convinced myself that the problem was in my head. I'm just paying closer attention to behavior that's always been there. I think it's fair to say she's always been a phone addict, but thinking back on everything, I do think she became much more secretive around her phone in 2024. The idea of cheating didn't come from something she did. I think I got stuck seeing too many signs she's cheating on you things online and started to think seriously about it. I eventually got over this and pretty much stopped worrying about it. Fall of 2024, I found a vibrator in her nightstand that I didn't know she had. It seemed to me that it came from a set with matching thong and remote. I couldn't be sure, though, as an identical model is sold without those accessories. I asked her about it right away. She insisted that she'd had it for years and there was no remote. I believed her. Sometime after that discussion, couple of weeks I think, while putting away laundry, I found that matching thong tucked into the back of her underwear drawer. I looked for it on Discovery. I'm positive I did. I told myself that I must have just missed it, even though it's red and would have stood out instantly. There is no record I can find of this product being sold with the thong, but no remote. But I let myself believe her story. In December 2024, I found sensual, edible massage oils in her backpack, 2 small bottles. One had been opened and was about half gone. I confronted her that evening. I explain what I found. She tells me that she'd bought them while in the sex store, while shopping with friends, for us to try. They were in the store because one of her friends wanted to buy some kind of outfit. One of the friends was curious and asked to open one so she could see how it tasted, and when she did, she split a bunch. Anyone who suggests I'm a fool for believing this, you're probably right. I will say that she was able to offer the explanation instantly, and it seemed genuine. This friend who spilt it, I'll call her Jay, it is 100% believable that she'd asked to do it and be clumsy enough to spill it. It was realistic. Of course, I had to ignore a few facts. These oils had been in her backpack for about 3 weeks, assuming they were bought when she said they were. She wanted us to try them? She certainly wasn't in any hurry to. It also ignores the fact that in mid-November, when she bought them, we hadn't had sex in about 4 months. And it wasn't because I didn't show interest. She had none. Somewhere in there, we did have another conversation about our relationship. We both promised to try harder. For the next couple of months, December, January, and into February, I felt a genuine effort from her. That effort seemed real. I couldn't get the fear of her cheating on me out of my head, though, and I posted my thread in here. I did finally confront her about my fears in February. I no real proof of anything, just that something in my gut was off. We talked about it for a long time. We both cried. She seemed genuinely hurt that I would suggest it was a possibility. Among other things, I did ask about the vibrator again and reminded her that the matching thong was in her drawer. I let her explain it away. I left this conversation feeling like she had not cheated. Things were okay for a couple of weeks. I had actually come back to this forum and tried to post a "I don't think she actually did it" post, but it got rejected for some reason. I never tried again because I wanted to put all of these thoughts behind me. Our daughter was sick. I have repeatedly asked over the years for our bedroom to not be treated as an infirmary. If she needs to sleep in our bed at night, be close to Mummy because she's sick, that's fine. But they don't need to sit in there all day. We got into a fight about it. It was bad. No insults or anything like that, but tone. Voices raised. We've actually fought very little in 9+ years together. This was probably the worst one. She gave me the silent treatment for about a week, and then things started to improve again. Things were improving. We had an overnight trip planned in early March. It went well. Had sex that night. First time since the fight. I think it was the 5th time in 2025, which was already an improvement on the total from 2024. I don't think our relationship was amazing at this point, but I was at least content with the direction we were heading in. We end up in a long talk one night, mid-April, about the state of our relationship. Our daughter had spent the night at Grandma's recently. She woke up in the night crying, and when Grandma asked her what was wrong, she said something to the effect of, "Every day I can't wait for Mummy to get home because Daddy just yells at me." My heart broke a little bit hearing that. It's in no way accurate. I don't yell at her at all. Particularly the few months prior to this, I know for a damn fact that I was grumpy a lot. My mood was bad, and my kid knew it. My answers were short. I'm sure I was unpleasant to be around. My wife certainly believes what I just wrote there is true. I don't actually yell, but my bad moods come off as yelling to a kid that never gets yelled at. And we kept talking. Eventually, she made the point. We make each other miserable. She still hasn't been able to tell me what I do that makes her miserable, but she's right. Her lack of an affection for me, any signs of love, it makes me miserable. I was good at hiding things for the first few years, but after I got a small taste of improvement, I haven't been able to hide it well. She asked the question, would we be better off apart? Wouldn't 2 happy parents living separately be better than 2 depressed ones living together? She did make a very good point. I told her that I wanted to keep trying, that I was not ready to give up on us. The conversation eventually ended. I followed up a couple of days later asking how she was doing. This led to her making the same points again. It came across to me like she wanted me to agree that a split was the best thing to do, and then we'd do it. I wasn't able to get there. Agree. So a split didn't happen. I was doing the mental gymnastics for a few days, wanting to talk about this again, but also worried that the next conversation was going to be it and we'd be done. Like I have been for my entire life, I found a good excuse to avoid things. We had a wedding coming up in May. I decided I'd ride things out as they were until then and talk to her about it afterwards, but knowing full well that the next conversation might be, "Yeah, you're right, we're done." Before that happens, I get laid off from my job. I'm still collecting severance. It has not added any financial pressures to our household yet, but if we split, I won't be in a position to deal with any of the financial pressures of that split if I'm not working. As such, I've delayed any kind of, "so what are we doing now? Where are we at?" kind of conversation. Behavioral changes. Since me questioning her about cheating back in February, the main behavior, how she was with her phone, has changed a lot. She's still on it all the time, but she doesn't seem sneaky about it anymore. It doesn't feel like she's hiding something. I assume she changed her behavior after hearing how it made me feel. I hadn't thought about it until very recently, but she's also stopped spending as much time with a particular friend I'll call H. H lives close enough to us, about a 25-minute drive. She was the friend that prompted the shopping trip when the oils were bought. That's also far enough that if they have a couple of drinks and now can't drive, a cab's going to be expensive. She would go out with H once or twice a month, stay overnight once every 2 or 3 times they were hanging out. From February through mid-July, I'm not sure that they've done anything together. They probably did once, I'm not sure. Our relationship is clearly in the tank. I can't get her to spend more than 45 minutes with me in the evening before she's too tired and needs to go to bed. I'll also admit to some behavior I have not been proud of. Since that last talk, I've been on edge. There's one thing that's given me a bit of comfort, though. I look in things. I check drawers, bags, etc. I see nothing is wrong. There is no new discoveries. There is exactly zero evidence of cheating. It just feels like things might be over anyway, and I'm scared of it. Despite everything I've written, I will tell you that I still love this woman. I would do anything to repair whatever's wrong in our relationship. Seeing no proof in front of me has brought me some comfort in what's probably going to be the last summer the 3 of us are a family together.
Of course, you're now wondering, what's the catch? The title of this thread implies that there is cheating going on, and I just wrote out how I keep checking and finding nothing. That changed last Saturday. I was home alone. I don't know why, but I dug a little deeper than I normally do, more than just a quick check of a couple of drawers. And then in our closet, behind her backpack, inside a purse she hasn't used in years, I find a black plastic bag holding a boxed Intro to Bondage kit. It has a rope, blindfold, paddle, gag, and butt plug. The box looks like it's been opened to me, so I opened it. If it had been brand new, never used, the rope would have been coiled nicely. It was not. It had the remains of a couple of knots in it, though. The gag looked to me like there was some light wear on one of the eyelets, but I can't be sure. The other items looked unused, but I can't be sure about that either. I am 100% certain that this kit was not there in the spring. I'm about 95% certain it was not there at the beginning of the month. It came into our home sometime in 2025, and I'm pretty certain in July. She had an overnight word conference the week before I found this. It could have come home after that trip. That conference was very much real and had been planned for months. I think the more likely scenario was about 10 days before that. I had planned a trip where I was going out overnight a couple of weeks prior. We arranged for our daughter to go to grandma's for the night in case her work schedule, which changes from week to week, made that necessary. My wife had plans that day with some friends. I believe that was legit. But we did text each other a bunch during the day, evening, and at some point during the day, she said she was going to go hang out with H for the night, stay over, and she'd see me the next day. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but I'm pretty sure that's when the set was purchased. It made its way into our house sometime after that. Maybe I'm right, and in July of 2025, it was just the H night. Maybe I'm wrong, and it was the work conference. Maybe it was both. At this point, it doesn't really matter. So what does it all mean for me? She's cheating on me. There were holes in her stories before, but everything she was plausible enough that I let myself believe it. I wanted to believe it. Despite what I just wrote, I will say it. I still love her. The coming weeks are going to be incredibly hard. Right now, I'm under the belief that she started seeing someone in mid-2024, and it continued right up until February of 2025. When I confronted her, she broke it off. Earlier this month, it started up again. It occurs to me that things could have been going on a lot longer than that, but who knows? Maybe she didn't break things off at all, and she's just been better at hiding it. That could be true too. I don't know for sure. I suppose none of that really matters. So what do I do now? Today? How do I keep living like this? Let me tell you, it is a struggle, because I can't do anything about it right now. Not until I have a job, and not until I catch her in an irrefutable lie. I am 100% certain that I'll be working again by September. I'm down the road with interviews. I have 2 that are looking like very good prospects. I do believe at least one of them is going to work out.
Unlike things I've found before, I'm not saying a word about this kit. My expectation is that sometime soon it's going to go missing. Then it's going to reappear, and once that happens, I've got enough proof in my own mind to be satisfied. I don't need to catch her in the act, but I'll know. She'll be able to lie about it if she wants to, but I'll be able to tell her I know she's lying. In spite of all this, I still want to believe she's a good person. We have a daughter together, so we're going to be in each other's lives for a long time. I want to believe that I knocked her up so quickly things seemed good, so she agreed to just jump into a life together with me. That she knew very early on in the living together stage that she'd made a mistake and didn't really want to be with me. But pregnant, or with a newborn, and worried about the future, she decided to stick it out because we had a kid. I want to believe that she did really try over the years to make it work, but the problem was that she just didn't love me, and she didn't have the courage to tell me. If that's all true, while I'd love an explanation as to what happened, I can't fault her for it. I'd like to believe that after nearly 8 years in a crappy relationship, she made a decision that she knew was wrong, but did it anyway, because she wanted to feel something. It made her feel good, and she kept on doing it. I want to believe she did break it off for a while, knowing what she was doing was wrong, but after that last few rough months, she's gone back to it because it makes her feel better. I want to believe that as time goes on, she's going to feel awful about it. And that's what I'm telling myself right now the story is. At least something close to that. I'm hoping we'll get to a point where she can at least be honest enough to admit it happened, even if she's not giving 100% of the story. I don't think I need to know every little detail, but I need some honesty. I need some honesty from her because I want to be able to forgive her. I don't want to spend the rest of my life resenting her, and I'm terrified that she's going to deny everything, lie, and I am going to resent her. I'm worried that we're going to spend the next 10 to 15 years needing to be in a lot of the same places, regularly talking to each other, and I'm going to be bitter. I've read lots about this topic. I think there are cheaters who are just bad people and cheat for the thrill of it. I also think there are some that are otherwise good people, but unhappiness drove them to do something that they end up regretting. I really want to believe she is in the second category. I believe she's a great mother. I don't want to spend the next decade worrying that my daughter is spending half of her time with a lying, manipulative, awful person. Even if I were working right now, waiting until September will advantageous for me, in my opinion anyway. I've got to hang in here for another 6 weeks or so. Writing this all down, sharing it, it's cathartic. I feel so much more relaxed than I did when I started typing this novel. We're leaving tomorrow for a long weekend trip, visiting some extended family. I hope I can keep myself together and not show it. It makes me really sad to know this is going to be the last trip we take as a family of 3. I'm just going to do my best to make sure my daughter has a great weekend. Anyone who's gotten this far, thank you for reading. I appreciate you. I doubt I'll look at this thread until after we get back from our trip, but I'll reply to comments and questions as best I can.